Something is severely wrong with the San Francisco 49ers. After last week just escaping a win in Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield finding a way to tie up the game late, it took a last gasp drive by Brock Purdy to deliver the goods and beat the Bucs were without their top two guys opposite them. And that's something to say about their defense. Their offense has been their calling card this year for whatever reason, and that's credit to Brock Purdy to make something out of nothing when his guys have been in and out of the lineup this week. Kittle missed the game, and Christian McCaffrey missed the start of the season. Brandon Ayuk has been out for a greater part of the year now with a season-ending knee injury. Debo has been in and out. So Brock has been the guy to keep this ship afloat, but I mean, the defense has been not up to San Francisco standards. And you're seeing it slowly unfold, and I think in this matchup against the Seattle Seahawks, where a guy that San Francisco has owned, Geno Smith, has been pathetic against the San Francisco defense, but for whatever reason on Sunday he was able to get it going. I mean, he still coughed up the ball on a bad interception, but led a game-winning drive when they were down 4 and they had to get a touchdown to win this game. And the 49ers defense just let him do it with his legs. Didn't deploy a spy after getting a numerous gains on the ground with his legs. And I still think that they didn't do well in coverage. I mean, JSN has been on a tear the last couple of weeks, yet again going over 100 yards receiving. DK Metcalf was also solid as well. Got some production out of Tyler Lockett. And the Seahawks stole a game in San Francisco against these 49ers, and now that's their third divisional loss. Their conference record is totally shot at this point, and this drops the 49ers to 5-5. And I understand Christian McCaffrey is coming back into the mix and he'll have an increased workload, but it's go time now. I mean, you're 5-5, basically on the brink of elimination at this point, because the NFC wildcard race is very, very competitive, and at 5-5, getting to reeling off a bunch of wins at this point to get to 12-5 looks highly unlikely. And at this point, we have to think about the receivers at this point. Juwan Jennings, I think, has been the one highlight, but he's missed some games. But when he's been available, he's been their best receiver so far this year, even dating back to the Super Bowl, when if the 49ers won, I think he should have been Super Bowl MVP with a passing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. But this year as a receiver, he's been reliable, consistent, but again, it comes down to health. And that's something that's just totally bitten this franchise in recent years. It's a snake-bitten franchise, whether it's bad decisions by Kyle Shanahan or poorly timed injuries by key offensive pieces. We already talked about who's been in and out of the lineup this year. Has been practically a 49ers infirmary at the hospital, and it may be too little too late to rally at this point. I mean, let's just be honest, at 5-5, it's really hard to pile up some wins and get back into the NFC playoff mix. But if any team can do it, it's the 49ers, but they have to be near perfect. Looking at their receivers right now, Juwan Jennings is their best guy, and Debo Samuel has honestly been a disappointment this year. Since being a first-team All-Pro in 2021, and that was a phenomenal year, where he was a running back and a wide receiver kind of all put into one. Since then, he's missed time. He's not really been up to that kind of first-team All-Pro level. He hasn't even had a 1,000-yard season if you factor in receiving yards by himself. But he's a kind of a do-it-all kind of guy, so that's something there, but just hasn't been consistent. And this year alone just hasn't been what the 49ers paid for with that contract extension. So he's absolutely going to have to pick up his play, because if you're saying that Juwan Jennings is your best receiver with a gimpy George Kittle at this point, then let's not even get into the defensive injuries. I mean, Javon Hargrave is out. Nick Bosa could be missing time with a oblique injury. So like I said, it's an infirmary, and at this point, unless it's perfect football going on out, it could mean that the 49ers window is officially shut if they miss the postseason this year.